See how tolerant we are of simple mistakes in life. Mr. Chairman, sir, ladies and gentlemen, this is the temple of tolerance. Look at what all Bengal has tolerated and continues to tolerate with such finesse. I think too much is being said about tolerance. I mean, we've tolerated the communists. We continue to tolerate a diminutive, timid lady. We've tolerated bad roads. We've tolerated no roads. We've tolerated the onslaught of humor mixed with pathos and passion. We've done everything. I think too much has been made, as Mukul rightly said in his opening remarks, about all this tolerance thing. What we should really be intolerant about is intolerance itself. What we should really be intolerant about is poverty in our country. What we should really worry about is the subjugation of rights, the subjugation of opportunities. But what's happened today is we're living in media circus times. So if an idiot says something stupid, and there are many across political parties, and my friend Randeep will agree, Congress has its fair share. So if they say stupid things, those become the national discourse. I mean, you had a person in the Union Council of Ministers 3 days ago who says he wants to wage war against Muslims. Now, he's an idiot. He happens to be in the Union Council of Ministers, but that's certainly not what should be used to describe an entire India. Why am I being part of an intolerance discourse when actually I'm not intolerant? Why are we dividing India on lines of caste and creed and religion and exposing every little nuanced statement made by stupid people as the final yardstick of this particular government? And I don't mean this particular government, I mean that particular government. I think too much has been made over the last few days, over the last few months, and there is a bit of an issue there. I'm not for once supporting the fact that the Prime Minister doesn't speak up when he should. I think he should. But that's for the Prime Minister to decide. But I'm also of the opinion that we don't need a media circus playing on our television channels every evening, almost suggesting that the idea of India has either failed or is about to diminish, because the idea of India is stronger than stupid utterances that will be made in a democracy as vibrant as ours, with as many television channels as we do, of course, with the sagacity and wisdom of one particular anchor here. So where are we today in India? I believe intolerance per se has always existed in our DNA. I remember when I was growing up, I'm a Punjabi, but more a Bengali, Ma, Mati, Manush, and I'm not doing a slogan for Mohammad Hadi. I remember when I was growing up, I was very intolerant about the Marwadis. I know many of my Bengali friends were intolerant of the Marwadis. Some of them still are. We grudge them their bedmi alu, we grudge them their wealth, we grudge them their ability to get school and club admissions. Thankfully, many of them aren't here, but they are many of my friends. We're intolerant about the way we describe people in our country. Everyone from the Northeast is referred to as chinky. That's intolerance. That's utterly despicable. Everyone south of Vindhyas is a Madrasi. We're intolerant about people's right to dissent. We're intolerant about people's right to disagree. We're intolerant in the manner in which we actually agree to create a more vibrant, more equal, more gender-neutral corporate India. But to use things like the sedition issue that happened at JNU, which, by the way, I've always said was something that was blown out of proportion. It shouldn't have been. I mean, we cannot expect 4 slogans to destroy the idea of India. But having said that, that should not be the yardstick to say, oh, why was he arrested? He was arrested because there was a legal anomaly, and the courts will decide. Television channels can't and mustn't decide. So the point that we wish to make today is that we are still a tolerant country. Don't get taken in by this whole mantra of intolerance. There are stupid things that are happening in this country, but the voices of this country will hopefully rectify that. People will understand that basic commodities, basic essentials, basic rights of humanity are more important than beef bans. People will come to realize that you cannot alter the discourse of this country on the basis of one ideology or one principle or one faith, and people recognize that. We have a vibrant democracy. We have a parliament which, when it works, continues to debate some of these issues. But to brand an entire nation as intolerant, to then brand an entire political ideology as intolerant, to my mind, is stupid. We are creating a second partition of India, but this time it's around the hearts and minds, and India at this stage doesn't deserve it. We don't deserve another partition. What we deserve is unity. We deserve diversity of thought, and we deserve the ability to respect contrarian views and contrarian opinions. But to brand contrarian opinions of one ideology as intolerant, to my mind, is equally unfair. So what our premise is this evening is that we need to be more tolerant about the word intolerance. Because what is happening is people are taking polarized positions, and polarity in a pluralistic society never works. It eats at the fundamentals of the democracy that we've taken so much care to build. It eats at the heart of who we are and what we are. And we don't need to look at simple single utterances as being the yardstick to define today's or tomorrow's India, to define who you and I are, or who our families are, or who our children are going to be. The idea of India is far more superior. The idea of India is far greater than prime ministers and presidents. It is rooted and anchored in our history, in our legacy. 3 years in a country's lifetime will not change the idea or the idiom of India, and we need to respect that. We need to move away from this intolerance debate, because this intolerance debate is creating positions which are vicious, to say the least. Media people are being trolled on Twitter. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know. You have people who are now following the Bush dictum. You're either with us or against us. We don't need to divide this country anymore, and that too over intolerance. I'm not for a moment condoning or suggesting that some of these utterances that have been made in the past are deserved. No, they're not. But at the same time, to adopt such a vicious counterpoint to that is equally demeaning to, as I said, the idea of India. The three of us, much as the three of them, including Mukul Kesavan, believe in a composite India. We believe in a holistic India. We believe in an India which is willing to introspect, which is willing to retrospect, which is willing to move ahead. This is the land of ideas. This city gave birth to more ideas which engineered the diversity and the unity of India, more than any other place in India. This city recognizes the power of ideas, and equally the weakness of ideas that splinter, that divide, and that are fraught with sensationalism. So when you vote for the motion today, vote with your heart. Vote for an India. Don't vote for stupid statements. Vote for what is real. Don't vote for what is seen. Vote for not the 9 p.m. slot. Vote for the 24/7 idea of India we need to believe in, we need to engender, and we need to perpetrate, because that's the India that will remain. Television channels, newspapers, including Avigdor's, will move and live from day to day, but the idea of India will endure. And in that idea of India, we have shown time and again, we are Indians, we are tolerant, and we are respectful of diversity. Utterances should not become the leitmotif of tomorrow's India, as they mustn't of today's. Thank you so much.